Let's talk about another major Trump obsession, because he has them often. And when he does, he's like a dog, a rabid dog with a bone. The president of the United States is really lighting a match to this our post World War II global order, because he has this personal obsession with Greenland. Yes, Greenland. You remember he said, someone was asked, and he said that he needed it for his psyche. I think it was even him who said it. Greenland. He is setting the planet ablaze because of Greenland. He is tanking the entire global economy because he wants his fat orange face on Mount Rushmore. And he is convinced the only way to accomplish that is through seizing this one Arctic country. Scott Bessent, always parrots and does exactly what the president says. And now he is trying to explain why Donald Trump is obsessed with Greenland, and we, meaning the United States, must have it. Watch.
Is strategically important. It's strategically important for his Golden Dome project to protect the U.S. And he's invited Canada into that if they want to pay their share. And it is important that the U.S. has control of Greenland, and that will stop any kind of a kinetic war. So why not preempt the problem before it starts?
And likely, in your view, it would end in some type of diplomatic event, not something more serious. I think that's the worst case scenario. The president always talks on the front end, shock and awe, I think, and doesn't take anything off the table, working on the negotiations on the back end, or as a prelude to that.
Well, look, I think the president should take everyone should take the president at his word. And I think the other thing, too, is just like with Liberation Day last year, not you, Joe, but the media has gone into hysterics. The Europeans are going to sell their U.S. assets. The U.S. is not a reliable partner. U.S. is a reliable partner.
Okay, people are fed up, our allies, and I'm going to play that for you in a second. Our allies are fed up with us. And I don't think they're fed up with the American people. Maybe the ones who voted for Donald Trump, maybe the MAGA folks, they're fed up with. But they're fed up with Donald Trump and his antics and the instability. By the way, Scott Bessent saying, why not stop the problem before it's preempt the problem before it starts? What problem? And how is Greenland going to save us from if Putin or someone decides to use a nuclear weapon, God forbid, or any sort of weapon of warfare similar to that? What is Greenland going to do for us? What is Greenland going to do for us? Scott Bessent should be ashamed of himself. And Scott Bessent, I mean, why are you doing this? Why is anybody in the Trump administration doing this, going along with this? Going along with a man who's behaving like Vladimir Putin, like Xi Jinping, like a whole host of 10-pot dictators throughout history. Why is he behaving like that? I'll let Joe Scarborough over at the Morning Joe explain.
None of this is good for the United States of America, but it is great for Vladimir Putin. All I will say is this. If Vladimir Putin were sitting in the White House, he could not do something more effectively to undermine American interests across Europe and strengthen Russian interests in Europe than what Donald Trump's doing right now in trying to blow up the NATO alliance for Greenland.
Uncharacteristically calm for Joe Scarborough, but I think it's appropriate in this moment, because this moment, I think it demands sobriety and to have a clear mind about these things without histrionics. Donald Trump is doing all of this from the White House, from the people's house. Just this morning, you can put up, he declared on social media that it's not China or Russia that is America's enemy. He's saying America's enemy is NATO, that our allies are our enemies. We're in an upside down world. It's not China, it's not Russia, but it's NATO. NATO, the Western alliance that has kept us safe for more than 7 decades. Our allies did not take kindly to that. They don't take kindly to what he wants to do with Greenland or Greenland. So European leaders are speaking out, and they're doing so more brazenly and bolder than they have before. Here is the UK Liberal Democrats, one of the leaders there, or the leader of the Liberal UK Democrats.
President Trump is acting like an international gangster, threatening to trample over the sovereignty of an ally, threatening the end of NATO altogether, and now threatening to hit our country and 7 European allies with outrageous, damaging tariffs unless he gets his hands on Greenland.
With outrageous, damaging tariffs, these outrageous, damaging tariffs are not just for our allies, that these tariffs are outrageous, but they're outrageous for the American people. And this is a moment, as he is saying, a moment for the United Kingdom to stand up, but it's also a moment for the American people to stand up. Continue.
For the United Kingdom, Europe, and our world. Without provocation or justification, the President of the United States is attacking our economy, our livelihoods, and our national security. Trump has put British businesses and jobs on the front line in his unprovoked aggression. The only people cheering him on are Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping. Only a few months ago, Trump hailed the special relationship at Windsor Castle. Now, thanks to his actions, it is nearly in tatters. So how do we stop Trump's damaging trade war? For a year now, Madam Deputy Speaker, the Prime Minister has tried a policy of appeasing Trump, flattering him, fawning over him, refusing to stand up to him, because, he argued, otherwise Trump would hit us with damaging tariffs. Well, the Prime Minister has tested his approach to destruction. It has failed. It is time for the government to change course. We have to finally be clear-eyed about the sort of man Trump is and treat him accordingly. He is a bully. He thinks he can grab whatever he wants, using force if necessary. And he is corrupt. The most corrupt president the United States has ever seen. So there are only 2 ways of getting him to back down: bribing him with a new jet perhaps, or a few billion in his crypto account, or standing up to him like we would with any other bully, standing together with our European allies to make him back down. That's the choice. Which one, Foreign Secretary?
Now, is it going to take someone all the way over in the UK to get Americans to understand? And I don't mean you, I mean American politicians, Republican and Democrats, to understand there's no negotiating with Donald Trump. There's not enough flattery in the world to be able to make him act like a normal person and not to act like a bully, as they have been saying. Now, I wanted to interrupt him more, but I didn't, because that man is spitting facts. He is speaking truth. And that's the only way you deal with Donald Trump, is the way that he is saying, is the way that this man is saying it. As a result of all of these crazy actions, take a look at our stock market. The stock market crashed. The stock market crashed. The Dow is down nearly 700 points. The S&P opened down 1.3%. That's $750 billion of wealth destroyed, roughly equal to the estimates of the value of Greenland. So in dollar terms, his shenanigans have already cost the U.S. 1 Greenland, and we have nothing to show for it. I'm going to let Emmanuel Macron really sum this up for us when he talks about how the world is supposed to work, the norms that have gotten us here without us blowing each other up.
We have a place where rule of law and predictability is still the rule of the game. And my guess is that it is largely underpriced by the market. Having a place like Europe, which sometimes is too slow, for sure, and needs to be reformed, for sure, but which is predictable, loyal, and where you know that the rule of the game is just the rule of law, it's a good place. And here in the epicenter of this continent, we do believe that we need more growth, we need more stability in this world, but we do prefer respect to bullies, we do prefer science to plotism, and we do prefer rule of law to brutality. You're welcome in Europe, and you are more than welcome to France.
Rule of law, respect, science, three things that Donald Trump does not believe in. Have you had enough, America? It looks like our allies have. Now, what do we do? Thanks so much for watching, everybody. Your support means the world to us. Don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe so you never miss a show. We're live every weekday at 10 a.m. and 5 p.m. Eastern Time with new clips dropping at 2 p. and 8 p. And if you want even more Don Lemon Show content, join the Lemon community. Members get exclusive posts, behind-the-scenes videos, and live chats just for you. So hit the join button or visit our channel page to sign up. Thanks again for all your love and your support, and I'll see you next time.